I'm Pimmy, and I'll be studying land economy at Queen's College, Cambridge.
I'm Yasmin. I'll be studying human sciences at Mansfield College, Oxford. Basically, it's a course where you study humans from all possible perspectives, so biologically, socially, culturally. This is a course that aims to teach us about humans, and it was founded on the basis that if you can understand humans and our societies and the way that we operate, then you can solve the problems that we create. So it's a very good course.
We're both doing the same video on each of our channels, so we'll be reading our personal statements, and then the other person will be giving their thoughts, reactions, and questions about the other person's personal statements. So this is hopefully to help you writing your personal statements to get a few ideas.
Yeah, so Pimmy applied for land economy at Cambridge. I think she mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find her video on her channel.
Very quickly, land economy is the basis of it is studying law and economics, and then in second and third year we get to branch out into areas of our interest, so it's also a very broad course.
Cool. Okay, so I'll be reading my personal statement, and Pimmy will be just taking some notes and writing some questions, and then after this we'll unpack this. The line, "No man is an island," from Donne's meditation XVII, from Devotions upon Emergent Occasions, is more applicable today than ever before. Nothing is exclusive, so studying a course that bridges the gaps between the social and life sciences by encouraging interdisciplinary thinking, a skill vital to responsible citizenship, will allow me to understand society from different vantage points. As history has shown, it is through tunnel vision, ignoring the plight of others, that assumptions arise and conflicts begin. Studying history, English literature, mathematics, and biology at A-level, coupled with my third culture identity, has driven my desire to understand the world. Particularly through studying history, I've seen how historical events are influenced by many factors. For example, cholera, poor living standards, and the influx of migrants co-facilitated the turn to progressivism in early 20th century America. As the law influences all parts of society, I decided to intern at Allen & Overy to learn more about the legal world. Assisting in research, I was able to see how interdisciplinary a field law is, taking skills from many areas. The analytical and communication skills from history and English literature, and the logical reasoning skills from mathematics and biology. Thus, a course that thrives on different disciplines is one I wish to study. My desire to become a scientist of the world, rather than a biological or social scientist, was fueled by my frequent attendance of talks hosted by the Foreign Correspondence Club of Thailand, where I've learned about the social, legal, and economic aspects of issues ranging from the state of mental health in Thailand to inequality in Thailand. Listening to a panel of journalists, researchers, and scholars engaging in academic debate has allowed me to see how problems have multiple interconnected causes. It is through a sensitive understanding of this that solutions can be found. Through my long-term participation in Model United Nations and my current position as club president, it has become clear that interdisciplinary thinking, linking the logistical, cultural, and biological facets of a topic, is central to solving complex questions. Exposing myself to varied viewpoints, whether to learn, to question, or to challenge, is something I look forward to. The versatility of the human sciences will allow me to learn in multiple fields. By studying biology, I hope to better understand anthropology. By studying demography, I hope to learn more about the economic and social reasons behind migration. As an avid environmentalist, I'm excited to study this course as it is framed by human sustainability and responsibility, threads that should be woven into any academic study. Working part-time with Operation Smile Thailand as an English-language copywriter has allowed me to see Donne's now 3-century-old quote in action. In poor areas of Thailand where healthcare access is limited, a cleft is deemed resultant of bad karma, causing parents to avoid seeking treatment for their child. After being sponsored by Operation Smile Thailand to attend their International Student Leadership Conference in Rome, I saw how these domestic issues also existed in other countries. This led me to question whether these similarities stem from human nature, from an increasingly monogamous global culture, or from something else entirely. By studying such a diverse degree, I hope to gain a more sensitive understanding of the relationships between the life and social sciences. Having taken an active role within my school, primarily as a mediator between students and the wider community, be it on the student council, as deputy head girl, or as a student listener, I feel my leadership and interpersonal skills, coupled with the studying of this course, will provide the perfect foundation for my goal of helping others, as a lawyer, a diplomat, or a humanitarian. Thank you for listening.
Wait, should I give my initial
Yeah.
Okay, I have to make it. That was the first time that I've heard Yasmin's personal statement as a whole, and I have to say it was really, really good.
Oh, thanks!
I really enjoyed listening to it because it was so interesting, and you could really hear her passions and her like genuine interest really coming through, and I don't know, it's just very interesting to listen to. It almost sounded like her documenting all of her learning experiences into one thing and how it suits the course. I liked the introduction because it immediately did a lot of things. So first of all, it like introduced how you are as a thinker, so how you reacted to the quote, and then that sort of seamlessly transitioned into why you wanted to study human sciences. So I thought that was really powerful. So I liked how you started a paragraph about your A-levels, but you just used that as like a springboard to talk about all these other ideas that you've had of the world and just like relating it to things outside of school, as well as making it very personal because you had like your own questions within there too, and you also managed to relate like seemingly unrelated subjects, which is quite important for human sciences. I liked that there was a theme of interdisciplinary learning throughout your personal statement, and it had that very clear message while still like being peppered with other things.
Thanks.
And very solution based as well, in terms of like solving world issues. So some of the questions I have for you. So the first one was, I liked the structure of it because usually with personal statements you'll see a paragraph and the point of the paragraph and expanding on that one point. How did you manage to structure your personal statement so each paragraph had a focus, but you still like talked about many different things within each paragraph, and like things were sort of everywhere, but it still fit together. So how did you structure it?
Okay, so there are obviously a lot of different things I wanted to talk about, so I wrote it all down on a piece of paper, and then I just tried to structure it so that quote that I mentioned at the start, "No man is an island," was absolutely stuck in my head during the time in which I was writing this personal statement, so I was like, okay, I'm going to start with this. And then, so I just had that introduction, which, as Pimmy said, I guess kind of like shows you my thinking and like the way I am. And then like easily my first paragraph after that was about my A-levels, and then I just tried to expand a bit into it and go around it, you know, and try to like just sprinkle in a little bit of my work experience here and there. And then after that I go out and look into the wider world. So introduction, A-levels, and then my extracurriculars. So in my third paragraph I talk about going to panel discussions and my reactions to that, basically. And I put in a little bit of MUN because it's kind of related, because panel discussions are like usually with politicians and scholars, and MUN is kind of similar in that respect. My fourth paragraph is focusing solely on the degree on human sciences, and I talk about how my A-levels will help me understand it, and my own experiences, so working with Operation Smile, which is a medical charity, have helped to like push me in this direction. And at the end I basically just reaffirm what I've said in the whole thing and add in a little bit more, so it's my conclusion. So I add in my roles within school, and I have one sentence at the end which kind of points to where I want to go with this degree. Obviously university is primarily academic, but I think it might have been useful for the people reading my personal statement to see and to realize that I want to do something with my degree. So like, yes, I want to learn, and I've shown that through it, but learning isn't the end of it. Like, I wish to apply it, and I think that that is something that's super useful for something like human sciences.
The second question is what other courses you applied for with this personal statement.
Okay, I'll tell you guys about this, just between us. So human sciences at Oxford, I got an offer. I applied for human sciences at UCL, I also got an offer. And then I applied to SOAS, so the School of Oriental and African Studies, for a joint program, Law and Anthropology, and I got an offer there, but I did not get an offer from LSE. I applied for Law and Social Anthropology, but I understand that. I think it's because like I only had one sentence about law in my entire personal statement, and my first choice was human sciences.
The next question is, we both mentioned the FCCT in our personal statements, so I wanted to ask you how you found the FCCT and why you decided to include it.
Okay, so the FCCT, or the Foreign Correspondence Club of Thailand, is this place, and I believe they have correspondence clubs in other countries as well, but it's basically a place where journalists and academics and politicians and people all meet up like once a week formally for panel discussions, and it's really well organized. So the guy who runs it, I believe he chooses a different topic each week, so it could be like something very current, so for example like the typhoon in the Philippines, or it could be something else like a night with a politician. it's interesting because you can see one topic discussed by different people. So I went to a climate change event recently, and there was an actress there who was like an advocate for like the UN, and then there was also a climate change scientist. There was a guy running a bicycle company to help, you know, combat like travel pollution. So it's really cool. We found out about it from our friend Richard, so shout out to Richard if he's ever watching this. I highly recommend if you're in Bangkok.
Okay, the last one is, do you have any final tips for people writing their personal statement?
So everyone's personal statement will be slightly different, but I'd say be genuine, especially if you're applying to university, which will interview you, because they might not take things directly from your personal statement, but they may have a feel for what you're like, and if you're completely different in person, that's just really weird for the university. So at my interview, they didn't ask me about anything explicitly other than my work with Operation Smile, but they used that as a springboard to talk about like cultural things and global society. Yeah, so be yourself. Secondly, don't stress too much. Stress like the right amount. Like if you have a writer's block, just sit down and write down everything that you know about yourself that you could include in your personal statement, and then just try and like puzzle them together and see what would fit and make a cohesive statement. Thirdly, if you're talking about other things, make sure that you're not just talking about the thing, but you're including your reaction to it, or your reaction to it, because universities want to see that you don't just observe, but you interact and you react, I guess. Yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it useful. Pimmy's video on land economy and her personal statement, where we're doing the exact same thing, is on her channel, so I highly advise you check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you guys again soon. Bye!